Everyone's level 6, god damn it. Oh, fuck me. Not the beginning, but yeah. Half-hour late. I know. Everybody can hear us talking, so it's the best part. Oh my god. Alright. Oh. Let's echo. Is that from Dustin? Alright, let's go ahead and get into it tonight, guys. Holy shit. The echo. I guess we're gonna wait a second. Oh. I don't know how he took his headset off and now there's a huge echo. Put it right next to his mic, I guess. Anyways, how's it going, guys? Good evening. We're starting a half-hour late, but we're here. We're ready to go. We're gonna play some games. Gonna see what happens with these guys. We are down one player tonight. Alex had some stuff going on he had to deal with tonight, so he was not able to make it. It'll just be, you know, sad boy Tophin being quiet in the corner for tonight. But hey, a couple announcements for tonight, guys. Reminder: this upcoming Monday, I am going to be starting the stream of my going to start streaming my other Monday night game for everyone. I'm going to be glad to introduce to you guys MI6, which they have finally given me the actual name of the Majestic Imposters. I don't know where the 6 comes from because there's 7 of them. But you know. I look forward to them getting to introduce themselves and show off their characters and get to give you guys a pretty lengthy recap for their session on Monday. In other news, we have a new reward up tonight, which is an inspiration die. For those of you that are followers or subscribers, you can award for 1,500 points a inspiration die to your favorite player character that they can use during the game whenever they want. Couple stipulations. You can only give an inspiration die to, you know, a character can only have one inspiration die at a time. This does not this does stack with Bard's inspiration dies though, so they can double up on that with the help of Nil. So that'll be I'm sure throwing out some crazy numbers eventually when you guys start throwing those inspiration dies at everyone. Followers, you get to award people with a D6, and subscribers, you get a little bit of an extra perk. You get to award everyone with D8s. So, just a little bit of an extra perk for people. Player characters. I've told this before I made the announcement, but you cannot award inspiration dies to your fellow players. So, just so we're clear about that. I know everybody here has lots of points, and yeah, that's not happening. I mean, you can spend the points all you want, I'll refund them, and you won't get to use them. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into tonight's session. Should be a pretty good one. Last week was we left off on some pretty big cliffhangers after you guys fucked up Avatar of the Sun God. So last we gathered, we watched as the Spread Eagles, after fighting the dragon and helping the druids of the Naku Circle kind of clean up the druidic circle and defend the circle from the onslaught of the wraiths and the dragon. And as they left, they had some choice encounters with a person of Cress's past, one of which Cress and Nil were very familiar with, of Saber, a high-ranking druid of the Naku Circle, and a man who was accredited with saving Cress's life, kind of helping her rebuild her strength and bring her back from the brink of death. While there, you guys ventured off into the forest, where you had a little bit of a, for some, an emotional encounter, and for others, it was a bit of maybe a stress relief. A couple of you took to fishing and kind of enjoying this wondrous and glorious forest, while a couple other of you just sat in silence and kind of pondered about everything that you guys had been through while licking your wounds from the previous battle. Not long after you guys decided to venture back to town, where you all got a well-deserved and well-needed rest and kind of recuperated from your night-long journey through the forest as you charged towards the Naku Circle from the night before. And the next morning you awoke and set out on your journey, making your way back to that shrine in the middle of the forest that used to be cased in stone. The one of which you guys found where you defeated the Maiden of Earth, and it came to find out that this shrine was tied somehow to Cressida and her goddess. And as you guys made your way back, and you began to place the stone in which you found within this metallic cube, a voice rang out from the skies above, and as the clouds above began to split and the sunlight rained down, a massive angelic-like being with these massive golden wings that kind of almost blinded you as she descended from the heavens. And she instructed Cress to hand over the stone and the book, that they were not hers, that she did not understand what she was doing. You guys didn't take kindly to this, and after watching on for a few moments as the being tried to very aggressively interrogate Cress into handing over the book and stone by a display of power, you guys a fight ensued, in which you guys made fairly quick work of this messenger, or this avatar of the sun god Dordros. As her body dissipated and floated off into the air, a few of you still licking your wounds, Avaria and Holland's little mechanical friend Spud narrowly making it out with your lives, while Kelric and Zeros, you as well, were almost on the brink of death, but from the help of a few of your more holy and divine friends, you guys have been recovering, and you guys have just now started to kind of realize the depths of what you're getting yourselves into. We find you guys here within the midst of this shrine, as Cress is kind of sobbing and weeping with Tofin underneath the shrine. And Kelric, you have just finished identifying this massive sword, which I will remind you is called Shadowbreaker, Bringer of the Dawn, in which you guys have not decided who is taking yet, although I believe it was presented to Avaria. You would like to add that to your inventory. So, we find you guys here in the middle of the forest, kind of reveling in your victory. Okay. Okay, easy enough. Okay. While he's doing that, is Nil, Zero, Savaria, what would you like to do? If there's anything. Okay. Anything you'd like to do, Nil? Okay. Okay. So about 10 minutes goes by as you begin ritual casting, identifying the various magic items in which everyone's carrying, including all of the cube and this shard of the stone that Crest carries. All give off a faint magical presence. The shrine itself also gives off the same magical presence in which you saw before. Nothing really seems very different about it currently. Okay. You go over, you knock on it. Doesn't seem like anything happened. The shrine. Alright. So what are you guys doing? Okay. You did. His revive fully heals Spud, but you did use mending just for sake of the scene.
I guess I'm gonna press with my new sword.
So you walk over and you find Cress and Tophin just kind of sitting down, kneeling in front of the shrine over.
The gazebo?
Yes, over at the base of the mountain range, across the river, or not really a river, this short creek basically, and you find Cress just sitting there, kind of with her face in her hands, sobbing.
Kind of pat her on the head. I'm not a very affectionate person. I'm just gonna. There. But I didn't, and I got a great sword. I don't know if I want the sword or I have a war this one or my warhammer. I almost thought I had an axe.
Cress did have an idea for that last session. I don't know if you would like to retell her that. Yes, it was.
Would it still do the same kind of damage?
Don't know. You'd have to find a as long as a blacksmith, you'd also have to find a pretty pretty renowned enchanter that could handle such a thing.
Where would we find those? She knows where we can go. That's fine. I don't even want to rest here. I'll get the rest of them up.
Yes. I mean, you're a couple days travel from Oldfield, but you're about half a day's travel from the Naku Circle, and probably about 2.5 to 3 days travel from Oldfield.
Sure. I go find Squishy Boy. We can't rest here. We gotta go. I don't know. We just gotta go. And I'm just gonna kind of poke him with my sword. Just
Gonna poke him with it?
Just poke. Just little pokes. Like, come on,
I should mention to you that this sword is roughly 7 feet long until you attune to it. It's a magical weapon. That's what magical weapons do.
So I'm just gonna poke him with my sword. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Kelrick, before you guys leave, I will remind you, just because Kelrick's a smart boy and would know something like this. You know that while the shrine doesn't look different now, the book and the stone that were placed in it are taken out, and it did look different whenever those were placed in it. This was before you had
Sounds wonderful. I'm gonna go poke someone else. Go find someone else to poke.
Who are you gonna go poke?
I don't care who's near.
Near there would be Tophin and Cress. Well, if you made your way over to Kelrick, it would be Zeros and Nil that were near him.
All right, Nil, you're getting poked with my sword.
God damn it.
That made my day. I know I like it.
You struggled to kind of carry it around, just so you know.
Oh, I figured I'm dragging it around.
Okay.
It's like use all my strength, just and then it goes back down.
Okay. Easy enough as you guys make your way, as long as everybody tells me they're going. So you guys make your way about a mile southeastward, back towards the area of the Naku Circle, kind of following that stream a little bit back towards the Naku Circle, up that kind of led you down here towards the shrine. You begin to weave the spell or the incantations to set up the dome. About 10 minutes goes by and you successfully set it up. Yeah, I figured it's just assumed. Nil, make a history check for me real quick. Okay. As you guys, you're spending a little bit more time in this forest and becoming a little more acclimated with it. That same reason that kind of drew you back to this area, maybe hoping for some answers or some sort of clues as to what happened to your mother. You begin to almost have bits of pieces of your memory of flashbacks of this stream, but instead of following it back towards the shrine, you remember following it more towards the base of the mountains up north. And you almost have like bits and pieces of your memory that begin to kind of like almost short little blips of flashbacks from whenever you were a younger age, venturing out this way with your mother. No numbers, just like flashbacks of like this area. This stream. With that roll, you just remember following the stream north. You don't remember what it leads to or why you went there.
I'm gonna get out my blanket and go night night.
Huh?
I'm gonna get out my blanket and go night night.
It's like 4 in the afternoon, guys.
That's still night night time.
You may sit down and start your trance.
Are you telling everybody? Okay. I didn't know if it was a secret. It's okay. Go ahead. You're gonna have an early death? I mean, you can't predict your death. I may die first. We don't know. Why? Are you having dark thoughts? Fat bastard.
Yes, that's accurate. I wouldn't say he's hiding from the syndicate, he just avoids them.
Kill him. Kill him.
Hmm?
Yes, keep up. Yeah, here. Get the fuck out of here. Dumb son of a bitch. Did we cook the fish already?
Yeah, I believe you guys cooked the fish already.
Yeah, we cooked them fish.
Yeah, when you took them back, Saber cooked them for you.
Are we by water?
There is a stream nearby.
I'm gonna go investigate the crick.
Okay, you're exiting the dome.
I'm exiting the dome.
Okay, you make your way over to the small little stream.
I'm gonna regret this.
Make your way over to the small stream and start to kind of look through it. Looks like a stream.
They're fishies.
It seemed to be varying. Stream's about 10 feet wide, so just saying.
Hold your breath, you'll be fine.
Okay. Make a tinkering check for me. It should be your dex modifier plus proficiency modifier. Level 6 you should... It's 3. Okay. I'll mark that down and keep track of it. Yeah, there's a couple fish going throughout the stream.
Getting out the javelin. Oh, I need to roll.
You rolled a hit? Just like you always do.
You never know with you. 17 plus 6?
Okay, so what is that?
That's a hit.
Yeah, you skewer a fish.
How big is this fish?
Average size, maybe enough for one person.
Alright, we're gonna do... How many fish can I see?
I mean, make a perception check. Or, you know, make a nature check.
Oh wait, it's on this side. Nature... Oh, my nature sucks though. You did that on purpose. That's a 6.
Doesn't seem like there's very many fish that you can find.
I'm gonna do it one more time. At 11.
Still not that very many fish.
No, that was the hit.
What are you throwing at? There's no fish you can see.
You said that there were a few in there.
Yeah, and when you skewer one, the rest scatter.
Oh. I thought they were that dumb. Alright, I'm taking that back to camp.
You make your way about 30 feet back towards the dome.
Can I hit the dome?
Yeah, you can tap on it.
I'm gonna tap on the dome with my fish. And I'm gonna give it to Cress.
Huh?
I'm gonna give my fish to Cress. You go fish! Get out, no.
I don't know if that's how that works, and Tofin's out of spell slots.
I guess that's not happening. Cress gets the fish.
What it? Does it say enlarge reduce can be cast on something dead? Okay. Easy enough.
I've got blue mushrooms. I'm gonna eat a mushroom.
Why? Avatar of a sun god.
I'm eating a mushroom.
Huh?
I'm eating a mushroom.
Okay, make a wisdom saving throw for me, or constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, I have advantage on them.
On constitution saving throws?
Mm-hmm. Make sure I'm right.
You have them on concentration saving throws.
You have advantage on con saving throws. Didn't you say that?
On concentration saving throws. This is a Constitution
Oh,
saving throw.
I heard you wrong.
It's not the same.
It is. 17.
Huh?
17.
You feel enough euphoric like feeling wash over you. You're feeling a little giddy. No, it's Constitution. +4? You mean +2? Are you sure about that? Oh, okay. God damn.
Now I'm gonna go to sleep.
Again, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Again.
And you're all giddy.
Drunk Shelby does it. I curled in my blanket. Night night.
Okay. Oh. Make a tinkering check for me. Okay. Out of it. Zero Snell, are you doing anything? Or is there anything else anyone would like to do? Is anyone staying up for watches? Still see outside it.
I'll take one after my 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you're good after. Okay. Alan and Keller, who's taking first watch after you guys spend the afternoon kind of working on your projects. Okay. Yeah, I was just seeing who was going first. As you're kind of keeping watch in the dome here, as you guys are all kind of finished up a long day after fighting the Sun God's messenger, and kind of the weight of Cressida's story kind of weighing upon your shoulders. You see the sun begin to set behind the mountains of the Antinui Range off in the distance, and kind of the orange glow just kind of covers the horizon as night begins to roll in. You could hear the wildlife and the rustling of the bushes kind of running around you, as it seems with the dome up they don't really sense your guys' presence. You can hear the birds kind of chirping and kind of getting a little bit quieter as they all kind of settle down for the night, and hear the nightlife of the wildlife of the night begin to kind of come alive. You can hear a couple of wolves howling off in the distance, but your watch comes with to a close with not really much happening. Okay. Go ahead and make perception. – 16. Okay, so you and Spud kind of gather your things and venture outside the dome and just begin to kind of walk around the campsite. Uh, it's a quiet night, and you can almost feel a small chill on this autumn evening as the cold air begins to kind of blow in, and you can see off in the distance as a few maybe larger clouds are kind of rolling in, maybe signaling rain or a thunderstorm or something the coming in the coming day. But he, nothing really happens throughout your watch. But at the end of your watch, you can feel as if the temperature throughout the night is begin to drastically drop. And at the end of his watch, you may take your long rest because you have trance. Arya, you are Crus. Well, there's one left, and Avaria volunteered for you. You can both take it together if you'd like, but she's awake anyways because her trance is done after 4 hours. Okay, you're both up.
Bud's the big bad. Do I get a roll with advantage?
What?
I don't know. Are you gonna make me roll?
You are gonna roll. Why would you have advantage?
Because I have someone else with me?
No, you both roll.
But you should let me roll for it with advantage.
If one of you would like to roll with advantage, you can.
I do have +7.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's metagame a little harder.
+19.
+7?
Yeah.
Jeez, you suck.
I know. The other one was worse.
Are you guys staying within the dome or venturing out at all?
I'm venturing out. You're gonna regret this.
As you guys venture out the dome and begin to kind of walk around and just talk about the things that have happened over the past couple days, kind of look around, and for you, Avaria, it's almost a welcoming feeling. The night cold air, it feels almost a little closer to like home for you, which brings almost mixed feelings. It's a welcoming feeling as you're comfortable to this sort of weather, but it also brings back memories of a different time and maybe some things you just don't really think about anymore. Crest, for you, it's a bit uncomfortable being from the southern areas of the Brawlhalla Concord, maybe the more warmer region of this continent. The cold air is a little bit uncomfortable for you, as this kind of chilly wind begins to rustle throughout the forest here, and you can hear you guys can hear again the howls of those wolves off in the distance. And at that instant, you can feel again as the temperature begins to continue to drop further as the night continues to go on. But your guys' rest seems to come to an end without really much happening. Just you guys awake or find yourselves the next morning with the sun cresting over the mountaintops off in the distance over the horizon, and just feels a cold autumn morning, probably about 30 degrees outside.
It's chilly. I'm gonna pass you my blanket. That's what happens when you're a snow elf.
You may all get your long rest if you have not yet. Okay. Sure. No, make another history roll for me. This time at advantage because you kind of know what I'm doing it for. Uh, as you're kind of gathering your things this morning and staring off at that stream, for the life of you, as you stare kind of up the river towards the mountains, you remember bits and pieces of your memory of walking through this forest with your through your mother and following the stream, but for the life of you, you can't remember why. Hmm? 6, sorry, 6. Thanks.
No, that's wrong. You little nasty.
Okay. So the seven of you kind of gather your things and begin to kind of make your way upstream here, and uh, Holland and Kelrick, the cool winter morning is almost a welcoming feeling. Being from some of the northern regions of the Andala Republic, these cooler days are something you guys know all too well, and as well for Zeros, but he's not there at his desk. But these cooler winter, or not winter, but these cooler autumn days and like the cooler air and the weather itself is, it's kind of like a welcoming feeling. Kind of reminds you of home, because even though you guys have summer months, these cooler days come through most of the year. Sure. You guys kind of pick up the pace a little bit and begin to catch up with everyone else as you guys are making your way northway up the stream. And as you do, the base of the mountain range becomes to come a little bit clearer into view. And as you do, Nil, as you and Cress are kind of leading your way up this stream, the bits and pieces of the flashbacks begin to come back to you, and you can see almost as an instance as you're kind of walking up this stream, your mind almost flashes back to a time whenever there was snow covering the grounds, almost maybe a little later than this in time of the year than what now, and you can see your mother kind of trekking through the snow just a few feet before you, and then in the instance you flash back into reality, and you can continue to follow the stream more northward. And as you do, you come to almost a small little hill, and as you guys begin to crest over the top of this hill, you get another little blip of a flashback of, you remember of almost like a plume of smoke coming from either a chimney or a home or a fire, from over the top of this, on the other side of this hill. So you can guys continue a little bit farther and begin to trek up the side of this hill and begin to continue to follow the stream that's kind of weaving and twisting its way through the forest here. And as you guys do, you come to maybe about 100 feet from the base of the mountain as it begins to kind of climb, and the incline begins to get a little more steep and kind of climb further up into the mountains. But kind of here at the base of this mountain, in this little very rocky and kind of scattered terrain, as this stream begins, you guys notice the stream begins to follow up into the mountains as well. You guys see what appears to be a small little cottage at the base of this hill off in the distance. And you can see what appears to be vines and different wildflowers and stuff growing up the side, as if the house has been unattended for years. The small little cottage has been unattended for years. You can see a small little stable to the side of the house where it seems there's like old, just decaying hay, and doesn't seem like there's any wildlife that were left behind, but just that area around it seems like it's been untended for quite a while.
I was gonna ask that.
Horses are still back in the Naku circle. You guys haven't gone back for them. Did not. You know what? I think you're right. So we'll say they're with you. Okay. Easy enough with the time. You would have been able to crush it into dust. 1 pound will get you roughly 3 rounds. Okay. So, as you're kind of at the top of this hill and you guys are making your way down, Nil, the bits and pieces of your memory from your young childhood begin to come back to you, and you remember running around out in front of this cottage, and you remember out back there's a small little hearth in which your mother used to work on some of her projects, and you remember her training you in how to use your knives and a blade here in this cottage out here in the forest. And you remember the last time you were here was only a few months before she was killed, in which you guys kind of in which she did her research and maybe some of her more lengthy study of how to craft the blade in which was stolen from you out here kind of in private. Okay. So you guys may make your way down and venture across the river, in which you see there's an old bridge kind of sitting there that kind of looks a little worn, and just like the house, a little worse for wear. It doesn't seem like it's been tended or mended to. So walking across it, you're almost a little try to keep a little sure-footed, basically. And you can hear the wood kind of creaking and moving beneath your feet, and eventually you come to the house, in which you try to open it, and it almost feels the door's not locked, but with the hinges and everything, and since it hasn't been open and moved for so long, it takes you a bit, and you have to give it a really good shove, and eventually it just swings open, and you see a room that's kind of covered in cobwebs and dust. See this familiar sight of this kind of small little one-room cottage here in the distance that has a small little staircase that leads up to the second floor, where your mother did her research and her study, with a small little door that leads out to the back, where she had kind of her hearth and her anvil, where she did a lot of her work. The hills kind of encompass around it. You kind of remember, now that you're here, that this was where she purposely had this, or built this cottage. So because of the way the hills around it kind of work, it kind of keeps it out of sight from a distance. Okay. Make an investigation check for me. Just on the first level. Okay. Uh, if you'd like to re-roll it because you don't like D&D dice, the D&D Beyond dice. Okay. It's not like it's in the game log.
Excuse me.
18. Okay. Much better. So you begin kind of searching around, and as you kind of crest, or not crest, but as you kind of get to the top of this little kind of L-shaped staircase, as you get to the top, you see a large wooden table, almost like one of those. It looks like one of those massive executive tables that you see in movies that all the big shots have, and it's got the got these various drawers and a large red kind of cushioned chair sitting there, and kind of strewn papers kind of all laying about of different designs of blades and like measurements, and then lists of different metals and alloys and things needed for crafting, and then you find various little like pouches of different kinds of aether dust, and you find a small little pouch that appears to be it looks like at first you think it's red aether, but then you remember your mom didn't really deal much in aether, and you realize it's actually ruby dust, in which she probably used to supply for the enchantment of the blade. And kind of looking around the room, you don't really find much, but then you, much unlike yourself, you remember your mother was a careful person, and you begin to kind of look along the crevices and the drawer and throughout the drawers, in which you do find a small little chest kind of hidden underneath the desk in the back of it. Sure. Make an investigation check for me. Okay, you got to choose one or the other. You can't pick and choose. Okay. As far as you can tell, it doesn't appear to be trapped, but you do know your mother to be a careful person, so do with that what you will. Okay. You go to try and pull on the hasp, and as it begins to turn, it just feels like it's locked. It does appear as if it has a keyhole. It is made out of what appears to be wood and iron.
Warhammer.
With enough force, yes. Well, one could say that. Yeah, looking around a little bit closer, you don't come across any sort of key. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh, Not really at first glance. I mean, the room's kind of bare itself, as you guys would only spend, a few months here at a time and then go about your traveling. So this was kind of like more or less a hidey hole, a place to escape, escape from the world. There's a couple candles and like some quill and ink and various pieces of parchment that don't really seem to have much written on them. Okay. Kelrick, you were wanting to inspect the room for what again? Okay, make an investigation check for me, please. Sure. Christ. Uh, it seems as if it's been, quite a few months since someone's been here. It's hard to pin down a time frame just from the amount of dust and cobwebs and stuff in here, but it's definitely been, from what you can tell, a few months. You can run your hands across the desk that's kind of sitting here where you assume people would have eaten at, kind of like a small little kitchen area off in the corner. And there's definitely a firm layer of dust. There's a couple candles that have been not they don't look like they've been recently lit, but you can see the burnt wax kind of dripping down the sides of them. They've just been, looks as if they've been sitting there for a while. Looking around the room, it's kind of bare. There's one small window that kind of looks out into the back that's almost kind of like fogged over, just from no one really taking care of it over time. You find a small little sack off in the corner of what appear to be some actually very highly classed blacksmith's tools, and a pair, and like some pairs of like leather gloves and sort of things. And they're kind of sitting off to the back next to the door. As far as anything that really looks out of place in here, nothing really stands out as something out of place. It just seems, from what you can tell, a small little like a small abode that people would have lived in, just kind of out away in the wilderness. That's kind of away from the world. The one thing that does kind of catch your eye, though, when you're looking around, is there's a small little picture on the wall, and it almost looks cockeyed. And as you look over and you kind of go to fix it, you kind of hear something jingle from the other side. And as you pick up the picture and begin to look at it, you find a small little key behind the picture. I wouldn't call it giant. It's about, I don't know, a foot long. Yeah. Uh, I mean, they look like animal skin leather gloves. They look very well broken in. Maybe a little like a very aged look, with maybe a little bit, you can see like varying scorch marks kind of across the back sides of it. It seems like they've been well used. Yeah, very thick. The forge is out back. They were sketches of blades. No, it was actually a picture of kind of like a silver-esque city on an island. Make a history check for me, see if you know what it is. So you would know this to be the city of Lyarosa, the known as kind of like the High Elf city, home to the most of the High Elves and the Eladrin elves of the world. No, it is not. Okay. Correct. Um, the I'd say you've seen blades of this craftsmanship before. Go ahead and make another history check for me. See if you recognize the maker's mark. 19. Uh, you've definitely seen this maker's mark somewhere before. You can't quite put your finger to it, but there's something similar about it. Something that just stands out, and it's basically one of those things that's like at the back of your mind. That's kind of like, I know I've seen this somewhere before. I just can't put my finger on it. You would know it very well. It would be your mother's kind of maker's mark that she would leave on all of her projects. Yeah. Okay. I assume with the key. So as you slide the key in and you hear it, you turn it a halfway, and you can hear some sort of mechanism on the inside click, almost as if it's releasing. And then you turn it another quarter of the or quarter of the way, and the lock releases, and the hatch just kind of pops open a little bit. And with that, we're gonna take our break. Oh, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Oh, that would be mean. Alrighty, guys, we'll be back here in a few minutes. We're gonna take our break. We will see you back here in a couple minutes. Sorry.
Did you get Tyler's text?
Alrighty, guys, and we're back. Uh, Tyler, are you good? Are you taking off? Okay. Uh, what's? Yeah, okay, go fuck yourself. Oh hell, you get a level. Get 17. No way. No way. So, Nil, as you open up this this chest, you find a you what? And it's empty. No, I'm joking. So as you open up this chest, you find a dagger laying in the bottom of it. And as you pull it out of its almost like beautifully crafted sheath, and you're looking at it, it's got this very tightly wound black leather wraps around the hilt that kind of follow it up into the guard, which in the guard you can see is beautifully inlaid small little sapphires that kind of line the guard. And as it does, you're looking down the center of this blade, and you can see the runes kind of etched in it, and almost like the polish work and the amount of craftsmanship that was put into the edge of the blade that has almost like these white little intricate lines that almost appear to be like lightning bolts running along the edge of the blade. And laying with it, you find a small letter. Okay. Sometimes someone might want to save it for that's the wrong music. As you begin to read the letter, it reads, Nilithos, my son, uh, it is my intention that this blade is to be given to you when you are to have come of age and knowledge of how to wield it. It's one of my more prized craftsmanships. Uh, I poured a lot of my heart and soul into this blade, and I know that one day you will come to find it, and I hope I am there to see or gift it to you myself. But if not, I do hope that you remember that I crafted this with you in mind, and with one day reuniting you and your father together. So I hope that while the worlds may have kept us apart, that this blade might bring you one step closer. And as you come to find, it might help you along the way. Okay. Okay. As you stab the table, you can kind of like feel some arcane energy, and as the runes across it begin to light up, you can see little like sparks of electricity begin to flow across the table. I will remind you that you do have multiple people in your party that can cast the identify spell. Okay. It's what it appears to be. Uh, Make an Arcana check. 24. Uh, well, as you said, you're not a trained enchanter, but you are trained in the ways of the arcane, and maybe through a little bit of knowledge of your family's past and some knowledge of how craftsmen work, you would know that these through the process of kind of using different stone dust like ruby dust and emerald dust, sapphire dust, and so on and so forth. That the dust is used and kind of it's used to help the enchantment take hold through the weapon, whether that be through the dust or the metal, or if some sort of enchanter has kind of prepared the blade in order to take an enchantment. But no matter what, you do know that these are used in some point of the process. So what you find in this bag is about 200 gold pieces of ruby dust, 50 gold pieces of emerald dust, and 50 gold pieces of fine red aether. Yep. Sapphire dust. 50 gold pieces of sapphire dust. Or did I say emerald? I don't have my notes in front of me. God damn it. Just go sapphire. 200 gold pieces of ruby, 50 gold pieces of sapphire, 50 gold pieces of fine red aether. Correct. Uh, uh, so as you guys are kind of having this conversation, the spell does come back to you, Holland, and this is nil if you'd like to add to your inventory. Solomir's Stiletto. And then you either share with the party what it does or keep it for yourself. Or they can probably look it up there on their own if they really want to. Yeah, that's fine. I Oh good, I don't have to fix the tiles. You find it? Yeah. Yeah. Thunderstep is first level. Oh, you gotta be fucking.
That is something that I'm not entirely certain of. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't know how it got changed. It wasn't picking up wasn't picking up sound. I don't know why. So
Well, welcome to the latter half of the session. We did a lot, and nobody's gonna tell you what happened.
oh,
So
unfortunately.
now just prepare to be more confused.
I found a knife.
You did. We also found the skeletons, the figurative skeletons in your closet.
Yeah, we did. Yay. Wait, have we checked the closets?
No, I don't think you canvassed the entire upstairs yet, have you?
I thought it was just one room upstairs.
Yep, just the one room upstairs. One room downstairs, one room upstairs. Very small cottage.
I meant to imply that I canvassed the whole room upstairs.
You did.
Okay.
That's okay. You know Kelrick, he's gonna work on a detect magic.
That's fine.
You know, I think that, your permission, of course, this being kind of your home, I don't think it would be a bad idea to turn this into a potential place to regularly return to and maybe fix up a little bit in
I
case we end up down on our luck.
It's a rather good safe hold. After all, I knew it was here, and it took me how long to find it?
I agree.
DM, just kind of based on the map, we traveled the stream that goes north,
Correct.
right? So this is both north of the gazebo and like northwest of the Naku circle.
Correct.
And we're like at the shadow of the base of the mountains.
Basically, yes.
I would tend to agree.
It's a
I
good
think-
spot.
I think this is a good spot for any future adventures north or beyond, or in case we're down on our luck.
It's very close to the gazebo, too.
There's already a stable built in to house the horses.
I mean, all I need to
And-
do is find out if your mother has a teleportation circle here, and then we're really in business.
Yeah, there you go.
Would she?
No.
What was your mom into? Did she have? a
Oh,
teleportation-
come on. I don't know. I feel
Of
like
course she did. She did, of course.
she would have paid somebody
Don't
to
worry,
put one
my
in.
detect magic is gonna finish in 7 minutes and 36 seconds, and I'll find it.
It's you build a new house, you get internet, running water, and a wizard to come put a teleportation circle.
Yeah, ma'am, your teleportation bill is in. It's going to be $300 this month.
God, it's worse than cable.
I only used it once.
So, while each of you are kind of inspecting the room here and kind of or going over the things here in front of you, Nil, as Kelrick's kind of looking over a little closer, maybe some of these designs, and kind of flipping through them, there's one that catches your eye, and it just almost you can see it out of the corner of your eye, and you realize it's the design of the blade that was stolen from you.
Well, fuck.
Something up?
I'm gonna point to it and be like, this one. She actually finished making this, and then was killed for it.
So that's what you meant when her work didn't make it.
it was taken from us.
Do you know why or by who?
I would imagine somebody liked what it did. Not that I exactly know. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't get to learn a lot of the actual craft itself. I learned the basics, but I more preferred drawing attention.
That certainly is your style.
I was learned at a young age.
Did you were you there when it was taken? When she?
I was not. I was not quite the fighter I am now, and I was pummeled down and left for dead.
My condolences, Nil. I understand how that feels.
That's okay. They'll get what's coming to them.
Everyone will in due time.
Do you remember anything about them?
A couple of things, and I want to describe yeah, I saw the symbol on him that night, didn't I?
Ish did.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it is? Or
I
do
don't.
you need...
I don't remember what the symbol looks like.
Yep,
but
you're
I would
fine. Let
describe
me
it
go
to
back to my notes and I will
Nil,
tell you.
do you remember enough about that night that Kelric would potentially be able to help you see it?
I've got mushrooms.
I mean, I would imagine there would be certain instances of the night rather burnt into my head.
If I remember correctly, it's just a moment, right, Kelric? A frozen point in time.
Yeah, I can already see that the thing that I made is well, Cress is right. It's generally unhealthy, but yes, you weren't here for it, Nil. I'm able to with someone's permission, either mine or theirs, create a moat that can be accessed by anyone that you allow to see a frozen moment in your memory.
If it would help me find them, I would be willing to subject myself to that.
It's all of the faculties. If there's pain, there's pain. If there's a smell of iron in the air, you'll smell it again.
I'm always in pain. It's what the goofiness masks. And the drink. The drink helps.
No, the symbol was a crimson dagger with a single drop of blood falling off of it.
Ah, that's right. Do they know anything about it?
I'm guessing he describes it.
Yeah, I definitely did.
You guys can make history checks if you'd like, but
Sure.
nothing comes to mind for either of you right off the bat without rolling.
It's cocked.
Let's see. You said history, DM?
Yeah.
21.
$17. Sorry, I didn't know if you heard me or not.
Oh no, I didn't. Sorry. So neither of you have really ever heard of a symbol of this manner. What you guys do know is that, well, you've never heard of a symbol of this manner. That there are varying different thieves guilds and underground organizations that run throughout the world, and this is probably just one of them.
DM, are you sure I wouldn't have been able to hear of them? I have a little bit of gang experience.
In that part of the world, not really.
Sure.
Seedy half elf over here.
Well,
Well,
I spent some time in the Blood Lotus, and I don't recognize that.
It's an option, no, but I don't know if it'll get you what you're looking for.
I'd be willing to give it a whirl, whatever you think is best, be it morning or an afternoon when we have some time.
All I need is time.
It looks like we've got plenty right now, unless unless a dragon comes and burns the house down.
You said the forge was out back too.
Yeah, there is a forge and an anvil out back.
At some point, I want to go check that out for tools because I want to see if I can learn more of this craft myself.
Unless Kelrick's keeping it to himself, he found the tool.
Oh, I did. I put them on the table alongside all the other things. Yeah, there's a set of, I guess, above average smith's tools.
Okay, I'd probably take those and spend my free time studying some of these sketches and trying to piece together with the knowledge that I already have.
Yeah, and you can, as you're looking
myself
over,
in it.
sure, and as you're kind of looking over the sketches, you can see like your mother's shorthand notes on how she went about crafting all of them, and really they'd only be discernible to you because no one else would be able to really understand the chicken scratch that's there of her shorthand. So you kind of go out back to the forge, and what you find is coal, just the coals kind of all laying down in there, and you can see there's a small little rectangle box of where water was once kept that looks as if it's kind of dried out, and the box looks almost like it's a little rotting now, and you see a very old looking kind of rusted over anvil sitting there next to the forge.
Definitely need some sprucing up before I attempt anything.
Dustin, I did want to make sure I heard Howlin right. You said Blood Lotus, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I'll go out back and see that Nil has kind of got some tools in his hands, and he's looking at the anvil, kind of curious.
I would have joined them as well.
I know you said you didn't have much experience with tools or working with a forge, Nil. I don't know how much, looking at those schematics, I don't know how much I can help you there, but I do know a thing or two about working with very hot metals and tools. If you'd like some assistance, and with the shape of this anvil, maybe Kelrick and I could fix it up a little bit. I'm sure there's enough mending to go around.
I'd appreciate that. The sketches I can discern, but the actual craftsmanship itself, I'm rather novice at. I knew the basics enough to explain to people sort of the process and what it did, and have a general understanding myself, but I'd definitely rather get a more intimate understanding of it and be able to even eventually replicate it myself perhaps one day.
Sure. I can't say I have a ton of experience forging blades, but I've got a fair bit of experience at the anvil and at the forge. If my skills can be of any use, I'd be more than happy to help. And I guess I'll kind of start to cast some mending on the anvil and see if that does anything.
With some time, it would eventually kind of clean it up and bring it back to its former glory.
This blade that's pictured, is it just a rapier, a scimitar, or just a longsword?
It appears to be a short sword. Or, I believe, yeah, short. They'll correct me if I'm wrong. My notes say short sword.
I think it's a scimitar.
I think you're correct.
I'm sure Howlin could be of more use to you. I deal more of the intricacies, you know. The smaller things you might find inside of Spud, rather than his actual carapace itself. But if there's anything to do with the hilt or anything else you need for purposes of balancing, I can usually work out a good weight and those sort of things.
Excellent. I appreciate all the help I can get.
No, I don't believe I've asked. How strong is your elven lineage? Just out of curiosity.
I'm not sure. I'm afraid I actually don't know much about it.
Interesting.
I know that I have some.
And your mother's an elf. Your father's a human,
No,
or
my mother's human.
Ah,
is your father an elf or a half elf?
That's an excellent question. I'm afraid I don't know. I didn't actually get to know much or ever meet him.
DM, do you think my mother was an elf, and pretty proud of that. Maybe I'd be able to, I don't know, make a perception check on Nil and see if I can discern what subrace of elf his lineage would lead to.
Sure, go for it.
Sure. All right.
I mean,
Perception.
Solomir sounds elvish. Is that your father's name or your mother's?
That would be my mother's.
DM, that's a 14.
Looks to be high elf lineage. Maybe a little kind of hard to discern.
Okay, cool.
That
It looks like you've got a fair bit of half elf or high elf. Sorry, a little bit of high elf in you at least.
Nil, you tell me if I'm wrong because your notes to me just say Elven, but from the area of the world you chose, that's kind of how I went with that.
For what?
For your father's lineage.
Mhm.
Okay.
My mother was a wood elf, and I draw my sword, and this is pretty custom design, from what I understand, where there are high populations of wood elves.
Do you know that he preferred using weapons in performances, which is kind of where I picked up the idea.
Interesting.
What, like a blade dance or like a circus, more like?
More like a blade dance. I'm afraid I'm probably not very good at replicating it, especially since I don't have any references.
Well, it seems to be getting you along just fine up to this point.
Fake it till you make it.
Isn't that the truth?
While they're all having this conversation, Zeros and Ari, are you doing anything?
Barn.
Not a barn, it's a stable. It's an outdoor stable.
Same difference.
Okay.
Not
Climb the
really.
tree.
Sure.
Searching the cabin for food.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up in a tree.
Okay.
If any trees are to be found.
Make a perception check for me, Zeros.
If not, he walks till he finds a tree. Miles.
Then I realized
Zeros, what are you doing, bud?
Then I realized we're in a desert.
Climbs a cactus.
God.
It's like 3 feet tall.
Oof, 8.
So you climb up this wooded tree and begin to kind of look around, but as you do, you realize you didn't climb out far enough on the branches, and you just are looking into a bunch of leaves in front of you.
Oh boy.
He's like planking across a couple shrubs.
I assume you pull the horses into the stable.
Yeah, I'm cleaning everything.
Okay.
My babies deserve to live in luxury.
Okay.
Well, I suppose while we're on the topic of parents, I don't know too much about yours, Kellerick. Any interesting or macabre stories to tell?
Oh. My father was a pretty harsh man. A lot of expectation. He's pretty renowned in Zakarat. You might have heard the name Elsine. I don't know if you're aware of. He's famous for creating Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
of course, of course. I can't say I've personally known him, but I've been to a couple of dinners that he's been to. So
Yeah, he's known for creating that thing that Gallius wears, the little monocle.
ah,
Vision correction lenses. He's got our family's sights set on the stars. My mother is the other half of my name, Lyris. She's to call her a ceramic maker is a little reductive. She makes well, they're highly sought after in the region that we're from. But she makes all sorts of vessels, both decorative and purposeful, and they're known for their structure. The spell you saw me cast this morning, that's I called it Lyris's Modulus Mural, and it has the little terracotta bowl clay. I've put a stain, probably, on the Elsine Lyris legacy because of what I've done. I don't really have any macabre stories. It was a pretty happy childhood until I fucked it up. But my father was very expecting. You know, there's a lineage and a legacy that needs to be upheld, and I didn't do that.
oh, don't sell yourself so short, Kelric. Your destiny isn't written out in front of you.
Echoing my words from earlier, aren't you?
I suppose so.
I wouldn't claim you to be wrong, but you can be remembered for the wrong things, especially when you create. And I kind of just grabbed my coat and put it over Harbinger's Call.
I understand.
Not all legacies are good ones.
I would agree.
But we're not here to relive the past. Let's talk about what we can do for the future, shall we?
Sure. Well, I guess what are we gonna do with this shrine?
I don't know. We need to find a couple more of these things and get Crest what she needs. I don't know if we have a next step for that. The trail's going a little dark. We could double back and take up the offer from the royalty. Maybe with the revised angle, I was hoping we would learn something, but I don't think we've learned a whole lot as leverage. But we could maybe be, I don't know, speak with Gallius, see if there's a leg up while we tentatively play with this large political faction.
Hey,
And
Calric,
try to learn what we can about. Yep.
make a religion check.
That's cocked.
The wizard, a religion check?
It's actually probably going to be pretty good. +4? What? 23. Rolled a 19.
Okay.
Nice.
Your mention of the trail going dark after what you guys have saw, well, something Kelric would know, and maybe I haven't been too clear about this, so just to give some clarity for everyone. In the world, there are 7 gods that are projected to be the new gods that came and saved the world after the Great Tribulation, and those are the 7 approved gods. It doesn't mean those are the only gods, and Kelric would know that there used to be old gods, and that the sun god was one of those gods that is one of those old gods that has kind of been cast out and not really approved for worship among the head governments. So the avatar of the sun god showing up here, you do with that information what you will.
Okay, I will revise what I said, and out of character real quick, I will just share that with everybody.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that I don't. I'm guessing DM. I don't know that. I mean, Cressida's goddess is not one of the new gods.
Correct.
So potentially could be one of the old gods, or just a high up demigod or something. I don't know.
Correct. Her god doesn't. You've definitely heard of Dordros, the sun god, but the mention of hers, there's never been any mention of a name, but even the description of hers hasn't rung any bells for anyone.
I don't know. It could all be a feud between old gods or their previous opponents not letting old things die.
And one thing I'll remind you of, Arya, and Tophin, who also would kind of chime in, or well, I'll allow him to share this information when he does. But the moment that Cress came in contact with that stone, you got a message from Vaz Mordio that told you not to trust the light. It was a very short, very cryptic message, but you do know that in the instance that stone came into her possession, that night you had a dream in which you were visited.
The light, but not the sun god. Oh boy.
I
It was
can't
at the
say
end of
all
one of the
this.
sessions.
I can't say all this talk of religion is particularly my specialty. But I will say, if you do think talking to Gallius again would be advantageous, I would not be opposed to meeting him somewhere.
I suppose it's kind of inconsequential. I'm sure he has the capability to be pretty much anywhere he pleases. When you've seen his cart, I don't know. I almost wonder if the idea that an old god is interfering in this is enough to get what we were originally looking for, which is more of a sponsorship and less of conscription. Through that, we can learn more about this syndicate. Was it syndicate?
Kaya
Yes.
Syndicate, yeah.
Yep. Kaya Syndicate for Cress. Maybe see about describing the symbol to the Empress, Queen,
King and Queen.
It's an empire.
I mean, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Okay. And seeing maybe if Nils Crimson Dagger is a known entity, but I haven't heard of them. I don't know. We need more information from people who are better connected, but I don't know which way to go necessarily.
I agree. Perhaps speaking to Gallius is a good start. I'm not sure if I would. Not that I think he would bother to come out here for us, but I don't know if I'd want to show him the location.
I agree. Yeah.
Of this place.
Yeah. Let's not do that, shall we?
Perhaps we could meet him somewhere advantageous for us, like at the Naku Circle.
Right.
Because I have a feeling Gallius isn't the type of man to do anything particularly shady around several powerful archdruids.
I do have one thing I could possibly leverage. An old friend with a knack for a hunger for knowledge. I might be able to. It would take a number of days. He's not capable like I am in sending mental messages, but he might be able to look into this symbol for you, Nil, and either find a means to get back to me, or I'll have to check in on him. It could take a long time, though. Depending on if we get into a fight and I have to use up my abilities for the day, it'll be hard to reach out if I'm well spent.
A friend in the Republic?
No, a friend of mine.
Interesting.
Particularly tied to any individual.
It wouldn't happen to be that man that we met back in Baldwin Port, would it? With the sickle and the runes.
Oh no, I wasn't speaking about Delamonte.
Delamonte.
Well, that's a fine point. Delamonte might know a few things himself.
He's a very eccentric man. I'm sure with how much he travels, he's seen a thing or two.
If I recall this character's notes correctly, I do have written down. Sorry.
You're good.
Yep. He most certainly is, according to Kelrick, described as a member of the collection.
Alias?
So Calric doesn't really know Delamonte. According to what I think Gallius as well. Let me go to Gallius's page. Hang on. Where's Gallius? Oh boy, I made a whole page on this dude. Now I can't find it. Yeah, I thought that Gallius was a member of the collection, and he was not a fan of the Syndicate.
That's correct. That is what your color suspects, at least. That's what I
also have a note from way back when, like Zero Session, that is, yep, Chronomancy trained, owns a shop, Fountain of Haste, member of the collection, does not like the Syndicate. But also that Delamonte himself, I just literally have written Delamonte, parentheses, the collection.
Okay.
So, I don't know what that means, except for I assume he's a member, or was, or knows about them.
Okay.
He mentioned it.
But, okay, yeah.
Well,
Unless you would say
Delamonte,
Keymind would let me remember what he has or has not told me, but I don't. That was a conversation like literally a year ago.
As far as I know, he has not insinuated any information that he's a part of the collection. Side note, though, Kelric wouldn't know what the collection is.
Yeah, I've just heard the name twice or once, maybe, if Delamonte never said it.
He might have, which I don't remember 100% of everything I say, but
I think Saber mentioned the collective. I think I could be wrong.
Dude, it beats me. This is why I took Keymind. So that Matt has to suffer.
Yeah.
Tell me what's what. Because my notes are great, but they only go so far. It's just a couple of ideas, Nil. If we don't have anything else planned for the day, I could probably try that, and I don't know. I might get something, might not.
I'm all for it. I mean, I don't have anything better to go off of at the moment.
Yeah, give me a moment and I'll kind of think over how I want to broach the topic. You just want to know if what the symbol, the crimson knife, is about?
Essentially, yes. I think that would help.
Okay, boy. Well, at any rate, it'll be nice to hear his voice again. So, DM, I am going to cast Sending to Kosrius at Lyre. And let me pull this up real quick so I know exactly what I want to say. I will just, in Xenokarat, say to him in the sending, Kosrius, I did it. I got the spell you were talking about. I need a favor, if you can. If you can look into with the rest of Coke, what's left anyway, crimson dagger with a drop of blood falling off it. It's symbology. I need to know where it's from. I know I probably went over 25 words, but that's the gist.
pretty close. I wasn't keeping track, but a few moments goes by. Oh, well, it's good to hear your name. Or your voice. It's been a while. I can get with Hardin. We can see what we can dig up. See what we can find. I haven't heard of it, but I'll do my best. And where do I send the information?
I don't cast Sending again, so he's just gonna have to fucking figure it out.
Okay.
I'll reach back out to him in a couple days, but he doesn't know that.
Okay.
Oh, I do have a third level spell slot. I'll probably do it later tonight if we don't get into any shit. All right. Yeah, he's really good at what he does. No, he's part of a group I was in. We were hungry for any sort of knowledge we could scrounge up. So setting him on a mystery is going to be a whole adventure for him. So hopefully he'll come back with something. I'll reach out to him in the coming days and let him ask him if he's found anything.
Works for me.
Zeros, you still in that tree?
Pretty much.
Make another perception check for me.
Uh-oh.
See if you stare at
Here
less
come the
branches this
displacer
time.
beasts.
Probably not. 13.
So you were away when I mentioned this, but this autumn air is almost a welcoming sense to you being from the northern regions of the Andalan Republic. There's this cooler kind of like a chilly autumn day essentially, and as the breeze rolls through, there's something off about it to you. You're familiar with the colder weather, but the way the wind has shifted, and the cold air that comes with it doesn't feel natural to you. Just keeping it to yourself.
Yeah.
Nil, you said that you were a man of many travels. Yes.
I like to think so.
How far have those travels covered, just out of curiosity?
That's an excellent question. Here and there, mostly in the surrounding areas.
Sure. Just out of curiosity, have you run into a man by the name of Halcyon before? His last name is the same as mine.
DM, would I know anything about that guy?
The name doesn't
imagine.
ring any bells, but make a history check for
Because I've been so good at those all night.
me.
Yeah, that's about right. 1.
Name doesn't ring a bell to you at all.
What's a name?
Oh, that's fine. I figured I would ask. Relative I haven't met before, but I've heard many a thing about.
Well, DM, come on, I'm within earshot. Does the name Halcyon Byzantium mean anything to me?
Brizamine.
Brisbane, sorry.
Halcyon Brizamine.
Yeah, history check.
Hell yeah. +7 to these. Natural 1.
Hey, me too.
2 for 2.
You've
Same hat.
never heard of the name. Same hat.
That's fair. That's fair. Better I rolled that than with these creepy things on the winds. Woo, metagaming.
That Zeros is keeping so.
Yeah, and just I don't know. Now that the conversation's mostly died down and I've kind of helped, I'll just do mending and fix the little box with the water that never came back and kind of started rotting and just shaping up the forge a little bit, you know.
I guess while I've got an anvil here, I'd like to try and get a little bit of work done on my arm and this grappling hook a little bit more.
Okay. Mario, what are you doing? Huh?
Clean.
Still cleaning up the stables?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Make a performance check for me. See how well you clean.
Oh God.
Good lord.
DM. My Tinker's check was an 18.
Okay, duly noted.
That's a 5.
You're spending some time cleaning, but being of the lineage of what you have and never really have to lift a finger in your life, you don't really understand how to clean, so you're like pushing the dirt to one side of the stable, and then you're like, no, that doesn't look right. Then you push it to the other side of the stable, and no, that doesn't look right. Can't seem to figure it out.
Sounds about right. That's what happens when I don't get enough sleep.
Somebody roll a perception check for Tophin for me, because after he would have joined in the conversation, he would have went out. So we'll say he goes outside.
You rolled a 17, so it's probably like fucking 30. That dice is lost.
So Tophin would go outside and also catch drift of the cold air coming in from the distance and it not feeling very, very natural. And as he does, he would see a familiar sight of a mist rolling in over the top of the hills.
Fuck.
We don't have any of our heavy hitters.
Have I seen the mist? I can't remember.
I'm assuming Tophin will double back and let us all know.
Yes, he does.
Schlecht.
DM, have I been in an encounter with the mist? I just want to know how to react
Yeah,
appropriately.
the mist is the same thing you saw whenever you guys fought Pemberley in the runes.
Sure. Not this
Same
shit
mist.
again.
It's not the same mist, surely. This is just natural. He wouldn't do
you
this like that.
wanted to keep this place a secret, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen. Where's Cress? Where's Avaria? I think Avaria's near the stables, and Cress probably still inside. Tophin, go get Cress real fast. Gents, what are we doing? Are we staying and trying to fight this back, or are we doing what we did? Howland, you weren't here, where we essentially ran from it. We need to make a decision.
DM, how long do we have until the mist is?
It is
in our little
slowly rolling
spot?
in on all corners from all the hills.
Why is it
Oh,
here?
fuck.
Why is it coming from us?
So have you guys gone? Has anyone gone outside, or are you looking out the front window?
Well,
out
we're
at
all
it?
standing by the forge.
Yeah, we're just kind of standing out in the back.
So the forge, you're out back. So have you gone to the front after Tophin came to got you?
Sure.
All right. So as
Trying to
you're
get a lay of what's going on here.
as you make your way out and you kind of see this dark, almost purplish haze of a mist kind of slowly rolling in across the ground, you watch as like parts of it begin to, almost as if something came out of it, but there's nothing there. And then as the mist kind of encompasses and begins to swirl, you watch as the shadows begin to kind of take hold and begin to form almost this like armor around it. And as it does, you watch as almost bones begin to grow across the armor and kind of come down into almost like a sharpened point, almost as if there's like this bone armor around the shadows. And as you do, you watch as the shadowy like arm reaches out and grabs one of the bones, and as it does, begins to grow into this almost like massive hilt of a blade. And as it does, the shadows begin to creep and crawl and form this like shadowy like blade from it. And as he does, this being kind of looks out, this skeletal like being looks out. It looks to you like a familiar sight, like the Wraiths, but almost as if they've evolved. They've become stronger, different. And as he looks out, this red armor begins to form around him in the shadows that kind of encompasses and interworks with the bones. And he looks down. I'm here for the girl. Bring her. And because
No.
we're short, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Bruh.
Ugh.
Jeez.
Because I do not want to get into this with us 2 players down.
Oh
Oh, yeah,
boy.
handle it.
Spud's got it.
No, you can handle it.
Yeah,
It's just easier to
Spud
let
usually
players
fucking
run
kills
their own
everything
shit.
anyway, so
So guys, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call tonight's session short tonight. We're down.
Spud's got a
down.
mortar, right?
Huh?
Spud's got a mortar on him, right?
Yeah. We're down 2 people, and running combat without 2 people here just gets, I don't know, kind of weird.
Messy.
Yeah, it gets.
especially because it seems narratively relevant for Cress. I think it's a good call.
So we're gonna call the session early.
That is a crest they're looking for.
See if I'll talk to everyone. See if we can't
Probably.
pick up another session before another one to kind of make up for the lack of content. I'm gonna have to go back and see if that recording's messed up or not, and hopefully it's not. So, but guys, have a good night, and if we don't see you anytime soon, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night.
Take care, guys.
Yay.